You have an old turn-of-the-century home. This one dates from 1880s, and it's what we would call a blue-collar Victorian. Blue collar because it's the type of home that the factory workers that we talked about moving into the area would have been building, and then Victorian because of the time period falling from right around the turn of the century. So most of the old architecture that we're going to be seeing today falls under this big Victorian umbrella in different styles. Now there's nothing too fancy going on because it is a working class home, but some things that I'll point out because we'll see them a little bit later. A little bit of wood spindle work decorating the porch line up there. That's characteristic of the folk Victorian style. Made it to Wicker Park that the neighborhood is named after. The park itself, though, is named after the guy back there with the broom. That's Mr. Charles Wicker, who donated this property to the city of Chicago in 1870. He is a very dapper man, yes, holding a broom. The broom is there to signify his motto, which was, if something needs to be done, just do it. So he wasn't afraid of getting his hands a little dirty. And originally I thought it was very philanthropic of him to just donate this property to be turned into a public park. But then I found out he had a bit of an ulterior motive. He was responsible for building and attempting to sell most of the houses surrounding the park and thought turning this into a beautiful public space would increase the property value on those homes and maybe make him a little extra money. So again, that was 1870. Who remembers what happened a year later? Yeah, the Great Chicago Fire, which destroyed the neighborhoods to the east of here. It did not travel this far west, though, so a lot of the very wealthy men and families whose homes were destroyed in that fire resettled here in Wicker Park. Now, these were men that also owed their livelihoods to the factories that we talked about along the Chicago River, but instead of it being the factory workers like you had settling Bucktown, it was the factory owners that were moving into and building up Wicker Park. So obviously we've seen that these guys amassed quite a bit of wealth and used it to build up all the 12-plus room Victorian mansions that we've been seeing along the way.